Hey everybody, Sol here. I have only one rule here. If it's animated, I'll comment on it. And we're halfway through this mysterious and monstrous month of macabre and morbid moments, and it's been so exciting! We've had rain and rain and rain and rain and rain and light showers. Okay, but whatever, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm not the fucking weatherman, for crap's sake. No. Alright, enough with the preamble. We're starting to get good and rotting with a look at Corpse Bride. Alright, now let me just look into my infinite knowledge of cartoons and 5 Corpse Bride, alright? Okay, well, Corpse Bride is a stop-motion animated movie directed by Tim Burton, distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, and produced by Laika Entertainment, the same people who would go on to make Paranorman. I guess those guys specialize in making the dead walk, huh? Anyway, the film went on to be nominated for an Academy Award, but it lost out to another stop-motion film, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Alright, we'll just add this movie to the pile of losers, shall we? It's getting kind of big. Now, having been dead and brought back to life and everything, I already feel a connection with this movie, and it's terrifying! But I don't want to bore you with the stories of a blinding existential terror when it comes to knowing that you shuffled off this mortal coil and then got forced back into it like sausage meat into intestinal casing. No, we're gonna just dig up a big pile of Corpse Bride.
I just want the nightmares to end.
This is one of those movies with a plot that I would love to hear the boardroom discussion on how it came to be, because I would fear for the sanity of all involved in the most delightful way. Anyhow, a young man named Victor Van Dort is forced into marriage with a young woman, Victoria Everglot, to increase his parents' social standing, whereas Victoria's parents force her to get married so that they can be kept out of the poorhouse. Because he's afraid to marry someone he doesn't love, Victor fucks up his wedding rehearsal in the most charming of ways and runs off into the forest to practice his vows. As he does so, he accidentally proposes to the corpse of a murdered woman lying in the ground, and she accepts his proposal. Victor then gets roped into her world and tries to find a way back to his living fiancée from the upbeat and jazzy land of the dead. Not exactly a plot you could find in bulk for 10 cents at your local knockoff Walmart, and that's good to hear. But when you start to look closer what's beyond the surface, you may start to see cracks in its corpsey facade. Now, let's get the character roll call out of the way. The main character is Victor Van Dort, a shy and clumsy young man who's forced into marriage with a woman he ends up falling in love with anyway. How convenient! Victor is rather wishy-washy as a protagonist, and is, in all honesty, kind of a jerk. The way he flip-flops on a dime is a little disconcerting. He's terrified of marriage one second, then loving the idea next. He hates that he accidentally married a corpse, but then he suddenly decides he'd actually kill himself for her. Well, I mean, obviously anybody would be shocked to find out they accidentally married a dead person, but the way he handles it is not very nice. I do still like Victor, as he is sort of endearing in his shyness, but that won't make me forget how he can't pick a side for his feelings. After Victor, there's the titular corpse bride, Emily, who accepts Victor's accidental marriage proposal and whisks him away to the land of the dead to spend the rest of eternity together. I guess. Seriously, I don't think she planned this very well. Were they just gonna find a house in the land of the dead somewhere and stare awkwardly at each other across the dinner table for the rest of time? Well, nevertheless, Emily has a nice enough personality, so much so that a spider and maggots sing a song about it. It makes more sense in the actual movie. I guess I don't have too much to say about her and Victor because I don't feel like either of their personalities leave much of an impression on you, since they're both whimsically macabre in their own ways, and they sort of degrade into this monochrome miasma which plagues many Tim Burton movies. Oh, and the same goes for Victoria, Victor's fiancée. I have literally nothing to say about her. She's about as boring as it gets. Then there's the villain of this tale, Lord Barkis Bittern, an apparently wealthy newcomer who tries to marry Victoria in place of Victor to obtain the Everglot dowry. He's a charming but sneakily devilish man who can best be described as a black widower. I do like Lord Barkis as a character, since his wiles can be fun to watch, but I have to say the way he meets his end is probably the stupidest villain death ever put to film. I just can't believe how lazily his death is presented. It goes beyond anticlimactic, it's almost insultingly bad. Not to the viewers, but to the intelligence of the character himself. I'd rather not spoil it, but trust me, it sucks hard. Good things you ask? Well, don't mind if I do. Obviously, if your movie is stop motion, you already move up a bump on my list, because stop motion is my favorite version of animation, and it's done quite well here. But I suppose to people who tire of this type of animation quickly, they may find it a bit dull, since it's mostly drab, grays, blacks, and blues. Now, the music is very good as well, with the score being done by Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman doing the music for a Tim Burton movie? No! While the songs don't resonate as much as something like The Nightmare Before Christmas, they're still nice and catchy, and fit the moods the movie presents every time. Though, admittedly, I'm not sure why it's a musical in the first place, but whatever, that's just me. And, while I am a big fan of the premise of the movie, since I can't really think of anything that's used the idea of marrying a dead person as the central theme, I do have some pretty big gripes with it. First of all, the plot only exists because of the biggest fucking coincidence of all time. I know it's a movie, and things don't happen like they would in reality, but give me a break. Victor just happened to get his vows perfectly at a spot where a woman who was desperate to become a bride just happened to be buried, and he just happened to put the ring on her hand, which just happened to be sticking out of the ground. That's a lot for me to swallow. And it doesn't really stop there. This movie has a touch of the old plot diarrhea, but in a way that I haven't really seen before. Rather than it not being able to sit still for even 1 second, this movie has sort of a start and stop pacing, where one scene can zip by with the speed of a steroid-infused horse attached to a rocket ship, while some others creep by with the pace of a one-legged turtle. To those of you who don't really care about weird pacing, this probably won't bother you, but it's definitely one of my big piss-offs. And yeah, it's got some plot holes. Not tiny ones I can let slip by because I'm nice, no. I'm talking pretty big, gaping holes that are as hard to ignore as the edge of a cliff coming towards you at 100 kilometers an hour. For instance, Emily chases Victor through the land of the living's forest, no problem. Then, all of a sudden, she and all the others act like going to the surface is a big deal for dead people. The dead say that they can't interfere with the living, yet they break the laws of reality just to stage a wedding. And also, how exactly did Emily know to get Scraps, Victor's dead dog, when she had barely said one sentence to him? The movie's full of foibles like that only get more noticeable the more you watch it. Honestly though, despite all that, I can't say that I don't enjoy this movie. You get wrapped up in its capriciously dark nature and find that it's too innocent to dislike in any significant way. Corpse Bride isn't the scariest, or the funniest, or even the est of anything really. But in saying that, you'll find that its mid-level quality is delightfully endearing on nearly all accounts, despite some glaring flaws. It strikes a fairly good balance between quantity and quality, and it should certainly be reanimated for Halloween this year. Oh, I give Corpse Bride. Three eyes out of 5. So, Corpse Bride. Is it watchable? Absolutely, yes. Although I would recommend viewing it in the spookiest month out of the year to get the best viewing experience. Is it enjoyable? Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people will find themselves roped in by the capriciously dark nature and the memorable design. It's got a lot of energy too, but some of you, like me, might be raising an eyebrow to all those glaring flaws in it. Is it memorable? Yeah, I guess it is. Although honestly, to me, I remember this sketch from Robot Chicken a lot more.
I don't wanna get married. I'll put my wedding ring on a stick. Eek! A Corpse Bride.
That's not a stick. That's my hand. Now we're married, Johnny Depp.
Eek!
Alright, okay, that's pretty funny. Alright, now don't forget, there's 2 more spooky Halloween episodes coming up, so stay tuned, and you'll see a lot more Halloweeny goodness coming your way. And we're halfway through this mysterious and monstrous macabre month of fuck. Want to stay up to date with the latest EyeofSol news? You can follow me on Facebook as well as Twitter at facebook.com/EyeofSol and twitter.com/EyeofSol299. I try to update them as much as I can, and I always post updates at least once a day, so give them a follow, a like, whatever if you want to see what's going on. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my review of Corpse Bride. Don't forget there's 2 more reviews in this spooky month of Halloween, so don't miss them. If you want to see more of my stuff, you can click the previous videos playing right there on the video right now, or if you want to follow my various social media platforms, you can check out my Twitch channel, Twitter page, and my Facebook fan page. They're on the screen for you. Have an idea for an animated series or movie you want me to comment on? You can leave me a message in the YouTube comments on any one of my social media platforms, or just let me know in any way you can think of to let me know what you want to see, and I will add it to my list. Alright? Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I will see you next week for another spooky, scary review.